What if I told you, the thing you're running from, the emptiness, holds the key? Not just to your next big idea, not just to solving that impossible problem, but to unlocking you, the real you, buried under all the noise? We chase productivity like a drug. We worship the hustle. We mainline focus. We tell ourselves more is always better. More information, more connection, more doing. But it's a lie. A dangerous lie. Because the real power, the forbidden power, lies in doing less. You feel it, don't you? That itch, that phantom vibration in your pocket, that low-grade panic when the signal dies or the screen goes dark. We run from boredom like it's a disease. We drown it in podcasts, doom scroll through feeds, numb it with endless entertainment. We'd rather feel the jolt of anxiety, the sting of outrage, anything, than sit in the quiet static of our own minds. But what if that static isn't noise? What if it's a signal? What if boredom isn't the enemy, but your brain's secret weapon locked away, waiting for you to dare to use it? What if the itch isn't something to scratch, but something to listen to? Stay with me, because we're about to expose the war being waged on your attention, and reveal the power you reclaim when you finally let yourself be bored. Welcome to the battlefield. The prize? Your attention. Every second, every glance, every click. We live in the age of noise, the empire of distraction. We're wired, plugged in, perpetually on. 150 times a day, that's the average. 150 times your brain is hijacked, pulled away from itself, chasing the next digital hit. Think about it. Breakfast with emails, commute with podcasts, work with 1,000 tabs open, lunch with social media, dinner with streaming. Sleep? Maybe interrupted by that glowing rectangle on the nightstand. Where's the space? Where's the silence? When was the last time you voluntarily disconnected? Truly disconnected. No music, no input, no task, just you. We're told focus is king. Grind harder. Optimize everything. But what if that relentless focus is actually blinding us? What if the constant stimulation is starving the very part of our brain responsible for deep insight, creativity, and even understanding who we are? The science is clear. The pattern is undeniable. The question is, what happens when we stop running? What power is unleashed when we dare to enter the void? Think about history's titans. Einstein didn't crack relativity hunched over equations 24/7. He wandered, he daydreamed. He let his mind drift on beams of light during thought experiments born in stillness. Archimedes, his eureka, wasn't forced in a lab. It ambushed him in the bath, a moment of mundane nothing. Newton didn't schedule Apple-induced insight into his calendar. He was contemplating, his mind unbound, when the connection struck. They didn't have our weapons of mass distraction. They had time, unstructured, unfilled. They had the courage to endure the itch. They understood intuitively what science is now screaming at us. Your greatest insights don't come when you're straining, but when you release. Meet the default mode network. Your brain's hidden architect. Its internal sandbox. When you finally stop feeding it external garbage, when you disengage from the tasks, the alerts, the constant doing, this network wakes up. And it's not just idling, it's working hard. Connecting the dots you didn't know existed. Digging through your memories, playing with ideas, simulating futures. It's the background hum of your true consciousness. Feel that? That restlessness? That almost physical discomfort? It's not just you. We've developed a collective allergy to stillness. A deep-seated fear of the quiet void. We treat boredom like a personal failing proof. We're not interesting enough, not busy enough, not good enough. So we reach, we swipe, we click, we fill the void before it can even form. Anything to avoid that gnawing sense of nothing. But here's the secret. The noise machine doesn't want you to know. Your brain doesn't shut down when you're bored. It doesn't go quiet, it ignites. Two minds live within you. The executor, the task-positive network. Sharp, focused, Ruthless. It gets things done. Follows instructions, reacts to threats, navigates the chaos out there. It's the part of you reading these words, processing this information. Necessary? Absolutely. But it's only half the story. Think of the DMN as your brain going off leash. While the executor is busy with the known, the DMN explores the unknown. It connects fragments you didn't know were related. That weird dream you had last week? That snippet of conversation, that childhood memory? The DMN is constantly sifting, sorting, mashing them up, looking for new patterns, new meanings. It's where self-reflection happens, where empathy is born, where you simulate futures and rewrite your past. And crucially, it's the engine of breakthrough creativity. That initial restlessness, that's the feeling of your brain shifting gears. It's the executor protesting being put on standby. Most people panic here. They grab the phone, they fill the silence, they scratch the itch. Don't breathe through it. Let the mental noise settle. Because just beyond that discomfort lies the quiet space where your DMN begins its real work. Where connections spark, where insights whisper, where the real thinking happens. We've been trained to see this space as empty, wasted time. The science screams otherwise. It's the most productive time your brain can have, if you only let it. But it's not just about ideas, it's about you. What happens to yourself when you constantly drown out your internal world? Remember Poincaré. The mathematician stumped for weeks. The solution didn't hit him while sweating over proofs. It ambushed him stepping onto a bus, his mind seemingly miles away. That wasn't luck, that was incubation. His executor had stepped back, but his DMN, primed with the problem, kept working in the background, connecting the pieces in the fertile silence. This is the tortured genius paradox. The greatest leaps often happen not during the grind, but during the gaps. When the conscious mind lets go, the subconscious powerhouse takes over. Don't believe me? Ask the scientists. They torture people with boredom, forcing them to read phone books aloud, copy numbers endlessly. Sounds like hell, right? But afterwards, those same people explode with creativity. They crush standard tests, generating more original, more divergent ideas than people who were entertained or relaxed. Why? But here's the kicker. Not all boredom is created equal. Mindlessly scrolling TikTok isn't the same as staring out a window. One is cognitive junk food, low-grade stimulation that keeps your executor just busy enough to block the DMN. It prevents deep processing. The other, the real boredom, the kind that feels slightly uncomfortable, slightly empty. That's the gateway. It's the boredom of waiting without a device. The boredom of a quiet commute. The boredom of letting a thought finish without interrupting it with a notification check. It requires patience. It requires tolerating the itch. Because when the executor stands down, when the external demands cease, when the noise fades, the dreamer wakes up. The default mode network. This isn't standby mode, this is deep processing mode. Because boredom acts like a reset switch. It disengages the hyper-focused executor, the part of your brain that filters and controls. It lowers the mental floodgates. Suddenly, ideas that were kept separate can collide. Weak connections become stronger. Your mind starts thinking, not in straight lines, but in constellations. This war on boredom, it isn't just stealing your creativity, it's stealing you. How can you know who you are if you never spend time alone with your own thoughts uninterrupted? How can you process your life, understand your feelings, solidify your values, if you're constantly reacting to the external storm? The noise keeps you skimming the surface. True understanding requires depth, and depth requires stillness. Embracing boredom, activating that DMN, isn't just about genius ideas popping into your head. It's about reconnecting with your core. It's in the quiet drift that you untangle emotional knots, replay conversations, and gain new perspectives. Assess your choices. Dream about your future. Not just the next task, but the meaning of it all. Your sense of self isn't static. It's built and maintained in these moments of internal reflection. Deny them, and you risk becoming a stranger to yourself. Feel that pull? That almost unbearable urge to fill the space? That's the addiction talking. The constant drip feed of dopamine your brain has come to expect. But underneath that, did you feel something else? A flicker? A sense of space opening up, a quiet hunger? That's your brain, starved of stillness, finally getting a chance to breathe, to think, to be. It takes courage. It feels unnatural at first. The world will keep screaming for your attention. Your own habits will fight you. But the rewards, they aren't just better ideas. They're a stronger sense of self. Deeper understanding. More meaningful connections, first with yourself, then with others. Emotional resilience. Clarity. Presence. You don't need a guru or an app. You just need to reclaim moments. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Choose the silence on your commute. Take a walk without plugging in. Sit with your morning coffee and just look out the window. Resist the itch. Think you're immune? Try it. Right now, pause this video, just for 60 seconds. No phone, no music, no podcasts, no distractions, just you, the silence, and maybe a blank wall. This is about re-wielding your mind, letting it roam free from the cages of constant stimulation, giving it back the natural state it craves, the state where it does its most profound work. This isn't about life hacks or optimizing your downtime for more productivity. Forget that language. This is deeper. This is about rebellion. Rebelling against the noise. Rebelling against the algorithms designed to keep you scrolling, clicking, consuming. Rebelling against the culture that tells you stillness is weakness. Your brain is begging you. It's desperate for a break from the onslaught. It's aching for the space to process, to synthesize, to simply be. It holds untold power, untapped potential waiting in the wings. All it asks is that you occasionally turn down the volume of the world and listen to its quiet hum. Just once today, find a moment. Maybe it's right after this video ends. Turn off the noise. Put down the device, sit with the itch, breathe into the stillness, and just listen. Listen to what emerges when you finally give your mind the silence it needs to speak. The next breakthrough? The answer you're searching for? Deeper connection? It's probably already there, buried under the noise, just waiting in the silence.